Testing. Looks like everything is working okay. And let's actually switch the screen so we can see the gameplay. That might be an important first step. Hello everybody, Magic here to you, and welcome back to G8RStreams. This is day 3 of trying to complete Inner Agent 3. So hopefully today will be the charm, because it seems that... oh, I'm gonna get that. Yeah, we're going to go through Inner Agent 3 to try and defeat stuff, because my goodness, this boss fight is way more difficult than it needs to be. Although, it is a super boss, so it's probably to be expected. But, we're hopefully going to do it this time. Maybe. Third time is the charm. 3 seems to be the lucky number of Splatoon lately, because Splatoon 3 has sold 3 million units in Japan in 3 days. So it seems like 3 is the magic number this time around. It was 8 for Octo Expansion, and now it's 3 for Splatoon 3. Which I suppose makes sense. Alright. So, hopefully this time will be the charm. Your memories of that day 2 years ago have returned, now prepared to ride those fantastic grooves once again. Alright, let's do this. Surpass the hero within. Alright, so for those of you who haven't seen the previous streams or don't know anything about what's going on, this is the super boss for Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion that becomes available after you complete the story 100%, collecting all the mem cakes and completing every level and everything like that. Now, this is widely regarded the most difficult Splatoon boss in history, and now that I've actually completed the single player campaign for Splatoon 3, I can assure you that this is still the most difficult one. So, yeah, Inner Agent 3, I've been struggling with this one for a long time. When I first played through it, I was like, oh, it's a more difficult Agent 3 fight, and I already struggled with that one, so probably gonna wait to do this for the Let's Play, and that time is now, so hopefully we'll be able to do this at some point. Alright, so a couple of strategies I learned in the previous stream. It's really difficult to pull off, but if you are able to do it, then it is entirely possible to, like, throw the Splat Bomb in a way that it will attack Agent 3. The timing is very tricky because if you don't do it right, the explosion itself is going to cancel out your bomb. But if you do it wrong, then she's not going to dodge roll away from it. So that's the thing that gets really difficult about that. I still stand by believing the third phase is the most difficult in the fight because you have to take care of that quickly, otherwise the auto bombs are going to be following you everywhere. And it's just in general probably the most difficult part of this fight. That said, the final phase is also pretty tricky too because you have to keep an eye out for the splashdowns and all that. But it's more so the first phase. The first phase isn't difficult at all, it's just that I have bad timing for this part. But the second phase, that one just kind of comes down to luck, whether or not you're going to be able to get around the bubbles and things like that. Now, you probably could use skill, but I don't have skill. I have eggnog. Except I don't even have that, which makes me sad. Frickin' eggnog being seasonal and not being sold every time of the year. How dare it. But a couple other things we could talk about as well. We had the Nintendo Direct recently, and that's kind of the big reason why I decided to do this last minute. So they had Nintendo Direct today, and it was really, really cool. They had some pretty good announcements and things like that. So if you want to watch the Direct yourself, you don't want to spoil anything, tune away from the stream right now. Because I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to spoil everything because I have a lot to talk about. So they start off the Direct with Fire Emblem, and that's a pretty good game to start on. It seems like that one kind of seems like the go-to for starting Nintendo Directs lately whenever they have a new Fire Emblem game coming out. So, the new one looks pretty cool. I'm not quite sure how I feel about the protagonists yet. Like, I'm not quite sure if I like them or not. Because, like, they kind of have, like, a weird design. That kind of goes without saying because it is Fire Emblem after all, but they kind of have a weird design. Like, they have, like, Joy-Con hair and eyes and things like that. I'm sure I'll get used to it over time. I do kind of wish that there was an option to play as a female character because they did have that option in Three Houses and Awakening of Fate, so it'd be kind of weird to limit the character to just a male option this time around. So that'd be kind of weird if they were to do that. But it still looks pretty interesting. They're bringing back some classic Fire Emblem characters, which seems pretty cool. It seems like they have like the hub world and things like that, like they did with the beginning of Three Houses, which I'm looking forward to. I really liked Garrick Buck Monastery. Okay, we're not going to do all that. And we got spotted. What are some other announcements they did recently? They did announce Persona, like during the partner showcase a few months back, but that wasn't in the Nintendo Direct. I was kind of hoping they'd have like release dates for Persona 4 and 3, but we have Persona 5 coming out soon, so like it's not that big of a deal. I'm really excited for it because like I did get Persona 4 on PS4, but it's going to be a lot more easy to play it on Switch, and Persona 4 Golden is one of my favorite games of all time, so I'm really looking forward to playing through that one again. So they also had Nintendo 64 online updates, which is really cool. Like all the games that they announced were like pretty big hitters and things like that. So that's the nice thing about Nintendo 64 Online is that it's not suffering the problem with SNES and NES Online, because it seems like nearly every update for those ones have been trash, where they have like some super obscure game that like barely anybody cares about and things like that. They do have occasional good ones here and there, like Wild Guns. Like that one was pretty surprising because like that one I don't really care that much for when it was first announced, but like I actually started playing through it and it was pretty decent. But that's like not been the case for the last couple updates. But it seems like for online, even though it's only like one game a month, they've been pretty good so far, so I'm really happy about that. So they announced like the lineup for the next couple months, and the really exciting things are like the original 3 Mario parties are all getting re-released. That's awesome. Mario Party 2 did get a virtual console release on Wii, and I believe Wii U as well. I don't think Mario Party 1 ever got a re-release, and I don't think 3 did either. But it's really exciting that all 3 of them are coming out so close together with online. That's going to be great. Like, I'm really excited to play with my friends in that one. Like, my sister and I, we played Mario Party 2 for a good while there. Like, we preferred Mario Party 8, but Mario Party 2 was also really great too. And I'm really excited to experience 3 for the first time, and like the first one, like that's going to be really fun too. So that's pretty great. They also announced Pokemon Stadium, which that's pretty cool. I'm not much of a Pokemon guy. Like I do like the games. I've just never beaten a mainline game, and things like that. So I am really excited for it to try it out because I heard good things about Pokemon Stadium. So that's gonna be pretty fun. I think both of them are coming too. They did say that you can't transfer Pokemon in them, which it makes sense. You'd have to figure out something to connect to the 3DS, have 3DS connectivity to the Switch, which isn't really that easy or possible. I don't think there was any games that connect the 3DS and Switch. But, well, there is kind of Smash, because you can have like Amiibo and things like that, but even then it's more so that it's that's an indirect connection through Amiibo. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to those. The really surprising one was like GoldenEye, because like I was not expecting GoldenEye to like ever get re-released, because that game has kind of been in licensing problems for a while. And not just that, it's also an M-rated game, which I did not think would ever be on Switch Online. But then they did it anyway, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. That also opens up the way for That also opens up the possibility of Perfect Dark coming to Switch. And that one's my favorite Rare game ever. So, like, I'm really excited for that, too. So that's going to be pretty great. GoldenEye is coming. I'm still surprised that's happening. Like, I really did not think that was going to happen. And the really weird thing is, they also confirmed that it was coming to Xbox as well. But here's a weird thing about that one, because of course there's a weird thing about it. So, GoldenEye 007, it's coming to Xbox, but the online multiplayer is only on Switch. So, it's weird. Microsoft owns... Hey! Oh, dang. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, no! Okay, now we know we can get to that point again. I probably should have been paying a little bit more attention to the game, because I knew not to be too close to Agent 3. I knew not to be too close, because the strategy for that one is to be like mid-range, like in the third stage, because if you're too close, then the splashdown is going to get you. But now we know it's possible. I'm really feeling it. All things considered, that wasn't a bad round, actually, because, like, all things considered, that one actually went pretty smoothly, because everything was going pretty well. So maybe the power we're talking about, GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, is enough to help us succeed the day. But we were too close to the bubble for that one to be effective. So we're good now. But we didn't immediately destroy Agent 3's dumb face, so we might be in a little bit of trouble for this one. You're behind the wall. Alright, there we go. Get away from me. Got the bum. You're not invited to my birthday. Okay, let's talk about Perfect Dark again, because that seemed to be the good strategy for this. Go like that. I don't think that worked. And I think it did. I'm right about you're not invited to my birthday party. Alright. Okay. Hey, Octobums. I usually like you, but you're not being very friendly today. You're not being very friendly. You're never friendly. Unless I'm using you, because, yeah. It's weird, because it seems like everybody hates Tenet missiles all of a sudden. I don't know where this hate came from, because I don't remember anybody hating on Tenet bombs or Tenet missiles whenever the game first came out. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, going back to the Nintendo Direct, so it was really exciting because, like, I know I'm kind of a broken record at this point, but the fact that GoldenEye is coming means they're gonna allow M-rated games on NSO, which leaves the way to Perfect Dark coming, which is really exciting because I love Perfect Dark. And I don't think this will happen, but it might also mean Conker's Bad Fur Day might also come to Switch. I don't think that's going to happen, though, because that one is a very, very risky game. Like, seriously, if you've seen anything from Conker's Bad Fur Day, you would know why that one can't happen. But it probably will, maybe. I don't know. It's a really interesting thing. But still, like, it's so weird that GoldenEye is getting multiplayer on Switch, but it's not for Xbox? Like, it's a weird subject, because some people are saying that it works but only for digital versions, but it doesn't work on if you're playing like on the Rare Replay thingy. But I don't entirely know how it's working. I don't have an Xbox or a Rare Replay or anything like that, so I don't really know if it's even on there. But it's very weird. It's a weird situation. Yeah, some other games that were announced as well. What was also announced? They finally showed off Pikmin 4. They finally showed off Pikmin 4. Now, it wasn't gameplay. I think it was like a regular trailer to show that, hey, it is happening. But they finally confirmed it. It only took a frickin' eternity. So, here's a timeline for all that. Within 2004 or whatever, Shigeru Miyamoto said that the next Pikmin game was already in development and was close to completion. Now, at the time, everybody assumed this was like the fourth mainline game, but looking back on it, it's more likely he was talking about Hey Pikmin, because that was also being developed at that time. But even then, that's kind of a weird timeline, because that game didn't even come out until 2017. So, yeah, that means it would have at least started development in 2014, which means it would have been in development for a couple years, and Hey Pikmin doesn't really seem like the game that would have had like a troubling development cycle. Like, it was a fine game and all, don't get me wrong, but, like, it definitely didn't feel like a super difficult game to make, like, a traditional Pikmin game. But yeah. But then, like, a little while later, in 2017, he said that the next game was progressing. So, at that point, we definitely know he's not talking about Hey Pikmin at that point anymore, because Hey Pikmin is coming out in a few months at that point. So, I hope it's progressing, but, yeah. It's been a weird cycle being excited for Pikmin 4, but the fact that we finally have confirmation that it is happening next year, it's really exciting. It's also weird because the gap between Pikmin 3 and 4 was longer than 2 and 3. So I hope this doesn't set a precedent, because I don't want to have to wait 12 years for Pikmin 5. But let's not even talk about that, because I'm just going to make myself sad thinking about how long of a wait it would have to be between 4 and 5. But yeah, with Pikmin 4 itself, I've been thinking about it for a bit and what I'd like to see in the game. So, I don't know if this will happen, but what I'm really hoping they do is like have like armor for the Pikmin, because in Nintendo Land they had Pikmin Adventure, which introduced a couple new abilities for the Pikmin. There was like a brass knuckle thingy that would like be able to fire like Hadoukens and things like that. There was a firework one, which was my personal favorite. That one looked really cool. And there was the hammer one. So if like the individual Pikmin could pick up materials like that and like use them, that could be a good way to introduce new abilities without having to manage like several types of Pikmin. So I think that would be pretty cool. One Pikmin type that I've always wanted to see. I've always wanted to see them expand on the Bulbmin concept. Because the idea of the Bulbmin is that it's a parasitic Pikmin, whereas the other ones are like just normal creatures, but the Bulbmin, we don't actually get to see what the actual Bulbmin itself look like. It's infecting the mind of a regular Bulborb, and that's how they become the Bulbmin. So I would love to see that expanded on. I would love to see the original Pikmin, parasite Pikmin, and like kind of infect other enemies with it. Because can you imagine like a Dweevil Pikmin or something like that? You could think of it as something along the lines of like Kirby or something like that. We get copy abilities or something, but it'll be for Pikmin instead, which I think would be really, really cool if they were able to accomplish something like that. And as for other things, what else could be good for Pikmin? I can't really think of like any other like environmental hazards they could do for the game, because they already have like a good variety with the fire and electricity and stuff, and with Pikmin 3, with the rock Pikmin, they introduced something that could be immune to being crushed and things like that. So I think one cool thing that they could do would be like having nocturnal Pikmin, because Pikmin exploration has always traditionally been only during the day and things like that. So yeah, with if they were to have like nighttime Pikmin variants or things like that, I think that would be really cool. Like have a night crew who like handles like the evening shifts for exploration and things like that. But like if you want to go for that, that's cool. But you'll be facing tougher enemies and things like that. That'd be a really cool way to introduce a hard mode. I think they could definitely do something like that. It probably wouldn't be like that different of a Pikmin thing. To have like the Pikmin types during the day and night. I'd imagine they'd be like would be good colors for that. You'd have crimson Pikmin for nighttime red ones. That's all I could think of. I'm not good with color names. All I know is that yellow is yellow, blue is blue, and pink is pink, and all the random colors in between, like turquoise and things like that. Like I'm not good with colors. Or rather, I should say the names of the colors, I should say. Alright, so we got you. But yeah, the funny thing about Pikmin 4 is that I've been saying for a while, okay, I want to let's play Pikmin 2 as soon as I can. Because I would like to have a completed series before Pikmin 4 comes out. But now I know that's probably not going to be possible. Like, even if I was to start a Pikmin 4 Let's Play tomorrow, the game would probably come out before I could finish the Let's Play. Because Pikmin 4 is kind of a long game. Like, the reason why Pikmin 4 has been taking so long is, like, there's been, like, no more reasons. Like, the reason why I haven't really Let's Play Pikmin 2 sooner was that, like, other games, like, became, like, higher priority over time and things like that. And also, the second half of the game is brutal. It is very, very difficult, so I'd want to be like in a good mindset to handle like 30 plus episodes of a really difficult game. Because my goodness, some of those later dungeons can they are definitely late game Pikmin 2 dungeons. But I definitely would like to get around to Pikmin 2 within the next couple years or so. I don't know when it'll happen, but I definitely want to soon. Okay, we got you. Alright. It probably goes without saying, but a good strategy for this is to try and make sure that, like, Agent 3 can get, like, stuck in your ink. Because if that doesn't happen, then she's going to be, like, super fast and things like that, and that can be pretty difficult to avoid. Just like that, we were not in a good position for the beginning of that round. We were caught in the middle of the splashdown, because I thought for sure she was going to land on the other side of the map, but that's not what happened. What else is announced during the Nintendo Direct? Tears of the Kingdom. That's certainly a name. So, yeah, they kind of did the Avengers Endgame route, where they didn't want to say the name of the Breath of the Wild sequel because of spoilers. I don't know exactly what Tears of the Kingdom spoil, but I have a theory. I don't know how likely this is, but I think this might be implying it has a larger connection to Twilight Princess than, than usual. Because think about it. What world in Hyrule or anything like that in the Zelda series is associated with tears more? Twilight Princess has the silent tears that you collect to restore the area outside the Silent Realms. Midna's thing that breaks the mirror at the end of the game was a tear. In fact, her super attack in Hyrule Warriors is called Midna's Tear. So, yeah, this is making me wonder if Tears of the Kingdom is gonna kind of be like a pseudo sequel to Twilight Princess in a way. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. They're probably gonna invent some other species that are attributed to tears and things like that. But still, the thought of it is really exciting. Like, the thing is, Twilight Princess is it used to be my least favorite 3D Zelda, but Ocarina of Time kind of took that spot now because it's the only 3D Zelda game that I haven't actually finished yet. But even then, Twilight Princess is still an amazing game. Like, I still hold it in pretty high regards and things like that. It is a fantastic game, even if I do personally think that the other 3D Zelda games do things a little better. So, if we were to get kind of like a pseudo Twilight Princess sequel within a Breath of the Wild sequel, that's going to be cool. And one other detail that I noticed in the concept art is that Death Mountain is spewing out the malice from Calamity Ganon. So I have a theory about that too. So at the beginning of the game, at the beginning of the first trailer for the game, it kind of shows Link and Zelda exploring an underground area, and then they come across what we're believing is the ruins of Ganon and things like that, which means they might have found Ganon under Death Mountain or something like that, and when he's awakened, that's released a whole other thing of malice. So that might be what's causing all that to happen and all that fun stuff. I don't really know what's going on with the sky, because it really does seem like you're able to explore more of the sky than you were in the previous games. And there's also that one bird thingy towards the end. So that's kind of implying that you might be able to freely fly around Hyrule, which if they're able to do that, that'd be amazing. And there's a dog in the background. I'm gonna meet my friend for a moment. Sorry about that, mate. And he's barking again. Okay, I'm gonna be back in a moment. I think there was a squirrel outside the window. That's why the dog was barking. Sorry about that. I have roommates now, and they have a dog and 2 cats. So getting used to living with the dog again is taking a bit to get used to. Ah, hello there. Hello there, Agent 3. It's a new. Hi, Thieves Productions. Welcome to the stream. Having a nice day. Did you watch the Nintendo Direct? Because we just spent the beginning of the stream talking about that and thoughts on the thing. So yeah. They had a Nintendo Direct today, and it was really, really exciting, and I'm super happy about it. Alright, got you. I will say, we're also having a bit of a better time on this than we did before. We're having an easier time against Inner Agent 3 than we did on the previous streams. So hopefully that's a good sign for that this won't be a 3-hour stream again. I kind of can't have another 3-hour stream because I gotta work later today. Oh, darn. Okie dokie. Well, we'll keep going. We'll keep going, and we're going to keep on trying. And at the end of it all, I'm going to get a cookie. Literally, like, after I told myself a couple days ago that after I finish it, Agent 3, I'm going to celebrate by, like, buying a cookie. I don't have a cookie in the house right now, though, so that's my... So the cookie is going to be the reward. It's probably not going to be the healthiest reward, so that probably isn't a good example to set. And of course, after the armor breaks, we immediately get deceased. Alright, I'm gonna go with Steam chat real quick. This is taking forever to load. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, that's good. I know you could do it. Cookies are a good motivation. Yeah, it's not a healthy motivation though, so that's probably a problem. Although, like, in the last year or so, I lost like 40 pounds, so... It's time to gain all that back. That made me think of that scene in Wizards of Waverly Place, when, like, the one character was all like, I must have, like, lost 20 pounds in that walk. Do you realize how long it's gonna take me to gain all that back? Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, we've definitely been able to get to the last phase of this a bit more frequently than the previous streams. So hopefully it's all going to lead to the successful day that might eventually come. Maybe, sort of, kinda. You get back over here. You are not nice. You are the opposite of nice. You are rice. A friend of mine suggested that I, like, turn that into a t-shirt the other day, and I've been seriously thinking about it, like, making t-shirt designs out of, like, random stuff I say. Because that's a cool thing that would be cool, right? Except I'm not a graphic designer, so I probably wouldn't be able to make good t-shirts. Like, as it is, like, the logos I make and things like that. Where am I going with this? I don't know. Do you ever just suddenly start saying things out loud and you're like, where am I going with this? What is my train of thoughts? Oh no. Owie! Everyone says that would be fun. Yeah, I've been thinking about that lately. I've also thought about, like, making designs out of logo designs for Let's Plays that don't happen. Because I just like making logos. And I've made a lot of really fun logos for Let's Plays that aren't going to happen for a very, very long time. So I've been wondering if, like, those would be fun to do as well, because I think I posted this a while back, but I've made logos for, like, Banjo-Kazooie, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, Paper Mario, I think, was one of them. I think that might be fun. Excuse me. Hey, I have a feeling of a cough coming, but it's not coming. Alright. There we go. There we go. Alright, and we'll clear the area so that we'll have more places to swim around in. You're going over there. Oh, you're a tricky person, aren't you? But we are gonna get you. We're gonna get you. We're gonna be your best friend. Yeah, I was only able to do the timing for it properly a couple times last time, but there is a trick you can do during this where if you time it just right, you can have, like, a splat bomb get Engine 3, like, right as she's diving into the thing. It's really tricky to pull off, and I was only able to do it twice, but it is entirely possible. It's just really, really, really tricky. That might have been it for that. Oh, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it, dang it. Ow, that hurt. We were so flawless during the 4th phase. We were so flawless during the 10th of missiles. I wasn't paying attention to the auto bomb, and that was the thing that ruined everything. Oh no. This is such a minor inconvenience. We are dead on the first phase. It seems to always happen where we get to the last one and then we immediately die on the second phase, on the first phase, the next attempt. But it's going a little smoother than it has done before. So hopefully we'll be able to finish this if I'm not stupider than I previously is. There we go. Ape! This is a theme song I sing when I'm trying to play the Splatoon. Okay, we didn't do too well at the beginning, but you can always retreat and try again in a moment. Alright, you're doing the bubble phase again. Alright, so going to like actual like stats for Agent 3's health and things like that. If I remember correctly, it's 10 shots with the Octo shot to break her armor. And then with this, if you're able to hit her with a splat bomb, then it's 4. Or if you're able to hit her with 2 splat bombs. But doing the splat bomb thing in general is just really tricky because like I'm never good with that because the timing for the splat bomb is really difficult because if you throw it too soon, then the splash radius of the splashdown is going to cancel out the splat bomb. But if you do it too late, then she's going to dodge out of the roll. She's going to dodge roll out of the way. So that's not something that is usually advised if you want to be a living person. Agent 3 has 5 phases. The first phase is this one where after a moment she'll turn on the inkjet and we'll be able to fly around the area. So during this phase, it's 6 shots until the jetpack runs out of fuel. Then you go back over here and then aim like that to catch her off guard. Sometimes it doesn't work though, and I've noticed that it happens more so if you're like trying to aim for the center. But if you're like aiming off to the side and things like that, that seems to work a little better. Phase 2 is with the bubble wand. I don't remember the name of this special. But the trick with this one is to go behind her and try to catch her off guard and things like that. It's a little tricky to do, but some strategies for getting behind the bubbles. You can like shoot at them to be able to eventually swim underneath them as well, but that could be a little tricky to do. And this is the one that I struggle with the most. This is the Autobomb phase. The reason why I have so much trouble with that one is because like the Autobombs in general are just really annoying, but she could throw like 4 of them at a time during that one. So you have like 4 of them chasing you, and if you're too far away, they're all going to like go off at different times and they'll be able to like splat you instantly. But if you're too close, then she'll start using the splatter shot, and that deals a lot of damage if you're too close. So you kind of have to find like a good middle ground for where you want to aim for that, and that's where it gets really difficult. And the other thing to remember with the bubble phase is to try not to put yourself into a corner, because otherwise you're going to have a hard time escaping the bubbles, because they could still go off. If they go off, your armor breaks, and then it's just a matter of like an Autobomb finishing you off. But more often than not, during this phase, she'll usually land near the bubbles, and that'll wipe them out during the Autobomb phase. So you want to be at like a good set distance for this. Now, I had her in a corner, but she dodged right off to the side, and that's why like that area didn't work. So like I didn't think that she was going to dodge to the side, and that's what caused that to be a problem. But beyond that, there's the 4th phase. That one is the tandem missile phase, where Agent 3 will jump on top of the platform up there, and will kind of like start shooting off to the side and things like that. But every now and then, like the tandem missiles will start following you. That one isn't too bad of a phase though, because she can't hit the center of the area without throwing an Autobomb, and you can always like kind of see those coming if you're paying attention. So as long as you're continuously moving around and things like that, and you're not too close to the side, it shouldn't be too much of a trouble. But the annoying thing about that one is that there's like 3 attacks that can be going at you at once. they splash out if you're off on the side, then there's a 10 of missiles, and then she always throws an auto bomb after the 10 of missiles all fire off. So they might still be running away from the 10 of missiles that are still coming towards you, but then the auto bomb is going to be right there. So that's the less than fun part of that. And then the final phase is the one that I haven't been able to do yet. So the final one is the splashdown. That attack right there, which she like slams down and does like an explosive radius thing. She does like 3 of those at the very beginning of the final phase. So the strategy for that one is to try to find like one of the barriers in the area. Because if you're able to hide behind that, then the splash radius can't actually get to you. But then after that, she kind of starts attacking a little bit more aggressively. So you want to be at the mid-range away from Agent 3 so that you're not too close to the splatter shot. But you also want to make sure you're not too close so that if she does activate another splashdown, you're not too close to it. Because that can really be bad, because if the splashdown gets you, your armor breaks and you go super slow, and then the auto bomb can finish you off. You can tell, I'm a bit knowledgeable on this boss fight now that I've sunk like 8+ hours into trying to do this thing. And there is an auto bomb I didn't see coming. But eventually we'll be able to do this. So I am limited on how much time I can try this today, because I do have to work a little later today. So my current mindset is that if we don't do this by like 2:30, that's where we're going to have to call it quits. Right, that's where we're going to have to call it quits and try again another day. I don't know when my next attempt will be though, because like I do have family coming in this week. Like they're already in town, but like they're sleeping at the hotel, so I haven't been able to see them yet. But yeah, they're in town now, so yeah, might not have a whole lot of time, because I kind of want to spend time with them, because my family is like super awesome and stuff like that. And my baby niece is adorable, and she's 2 years old, and she's already saying words. All right, we'll continue on here. Yeah, like we are getting better at this. I have known like Let's Players like Joe Conroy and Messiah Nella who were able to do this in like 15 minutes, which it still blows my mind that they were able to do that, because this thing is not easy. And I'm sure if you're like a super hardcore competitive Splatoon player, this is like nothing for you, because like actual professional Splatoon players like do this, can like probably do this in their sleep, but I'm not a professional Splatoon player. I have done 2 Let's Plays of it and 3 versus projects, but I'm still not good at online. Like I've never reached the level cap in Turf War, and I've never gotten past like A rank in ranked battle modes. The nice thing about Splatoon 2 though, or Splatoon 3, is that your ranked modes in Splatoon 2 like carry over. So that's something that's really nice. Maybe at some point we'll be able to like get to Splatoon 3 on one of these streams. I was going to do a thing where like after we finish Agent 3, we like switch over to Splatoon 3 for a moment and just kind of like showcase that for a little bit. Like we wouldn't be like showing like major spoiler details or anything like that for the story or anything like that, but we would be playing like a little bit of the multiplayer and maybe Salmon Run. Like we probably would do Salmon Run first. I probably would do Salmon Run, and probably also like Table Turf. Table Turf is my favorite new mode in the game, so like I'm obsessed with it right now. I really like it because it's like a turn-based card game, but it's also like Tetris. So it's a little hard to describe. So you have like these blocks on a board, and you have a card that can say what spots you're going to place, like a Tetramino. But they place their thing on the board too. So what you kind of want to have to do is like you kind of want to block off their progression so that they can't do too much. But also like because they're both going to try that, then you're going to end up trying to put blocks on the same part of the board. So with that, if your pieces have like have a lower number of blocks than the other board, then you get to have more pieces and things like that. It's a little hard to describe, but once you like get into the game, it's really, really, really fun. It doesn't have multiplayer yet though, which is a little on the unfortunate side. But they did say that table turf battles would get patched for online multiplayer later down the road. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm probably going to be terrible at it against other players, but I'm really enjoying it. In general, I'm really liking Splatoon 3 so far. I don't know if it'll beat Splatoon 2 as my like absolute favorite game in the series. Splatoon 2 is going to be a little hard to beat though, because even if like absolutely everything in Splatoon 3 is going to be like fun, is like unobjectively superior to this one, it's going to be hard to beat though, because I have a lot of sentimental value with this game. Because I spent a good chunk of time planning out the Let's Play and things like that, and actually working on the Let's Play itself. Like, I have a lot of fond memories with it. So, Splatoon 3 is going to be difficult to... It's going to be difficult for that one to beat Splatoon 3. Like as it is right now, 2 and 3 are tied for me. 2 and 3 are tied at the moment. They're both really, really fun. I also kind of have, like, the rose-tinted glasses on right now for Splatoon 3. Because the game definitely does have some problems. Like, without going into too much detail, I think the story mode, like, it is really great and all, but I think Octo Expansion was just a little bit better. But, yeah, the story mode for Splatoon 3 was still really cool. It has, like, a lot of really epic moments. So, yeah, it was, like, way more epic than it ever needed to be, which is really, really cool. I think my big downside with Splatoon 3 so far, like at the moment, this is like my only like real actual negative on the game so far. Marina and Pearl don't really make any appearances in the game yet. There is like a DLC campaign that's supposed to be focused around them down the road, but as of right now, the only thing that has them in the game is the amiibo thingy. Like when you first scan them, you can talk to them for just a little bit, but even then it's still pretty limited. Like you can't, I don't think you could take pictures with them like you could in Splatoon 2. But you do get the same gear, so that's pretty cool. But even then, I do wish that there was an option to like actually be able to talk to Marina and Burrow. Because Marina is my favorite Splatoon character. Like she is like top tier waifu, so it is a little bit on the unfortunate side that she doesn't have a larger role in the game yet. But I do get it. They have new idols with deep cut, so they definitely want to like highlight them in the game at the moment. Alright, it's almost 2 o'clock now, so we're gonna give this like another half hour or so. Hey, there we go. Alright, now you're on the bubble phase. Ah, dang it. Dave Blackson says, I've slowly been learning Splatoon lore and I am amazed. Yeah, the lore of these games is really incredible. Like, you'd look at it at first glance and you don't think it's gonna be like super deep or anything like that, but this game has like really deep stories and stuff. So, yeah, that's what I really love about these games. And there's a dog in the background again. Yeah, so, sorry about that. Alright, microphone's turned back on. Alright, what was I saying a moment ago? Oh yeah, the lore of the game. So, yeah, Splatoon lore, it's always really fun. Because, like, It really doesn't seem like it'd be like that super deep of a game, but then like start playing them and things like that, and you go through the story modes, and you're like, oh my goodness, this thing is. These games can get dark at times. It's pretty great. Yet another comment. What's your favorite part of the game? I'm not sure. Like, I love Splatoon just in general. I'm not quite sure if I can like pinpoint it to like a singular favorite thing. So I guess with the first game, I really liked the characters of the first game. Like they did a great job establishing the world of the Splatoon series. And then I think it was Splatoon 2. My favorite was I want to say story loosely because the story of the Octo Canyon itself was a little bit lesser than Octo Valley from the first game, but then Octo Expansion came around, and that's like my favorite of the single player campaign. So with this one specifically, I think the story is my favorite. I'm not sure yet about 3 though. I'm leaning more towards characters again for Splatoon 3, because like the new idols, they're pretty great. I love Shiver. Like Shiver is my favorite of them so far. Fry is also pretty good. Big Man, I gotta say, I'm not that big of a fan of Big Man, honestly. Like Big Man is fine and all, but like I don't want to go into too many reasons why I'm not that fond of Big Man at the moment. But I will say the one thing that I do kind of like, but also it's weird. Sometimes I'll hear it and be like, oh, that's a cute detail, but other times it'll be like, oh, that's kind of annoying. So whenever Big Man speaks, there's like an air horn sound effect that appears. It's kind of subtle, and it's like I never know how I feel about it because it's a funny sound effect and all, but it also appears like every time he talks. So I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. But yeah, like the characters, they're definitely like a highlight of the Splatoon series. Marina, like she is top tier waifu, but she also like has like a really amazing background as well. Because like in the stories of the games and things like that, you kind of like get to see how she was able to like escape a bad situation and things like that, and be able to be part of the Inkling Society. And then with Octo Expansion happening, and then all the Octolings being like joining Inkling culture and things like that. And now we get to see in Splatoon 3 that they're all like living together peacefully. It's really, really great. Because like the thing with the lore is that the Inklings and Octolings were at war for the longest time. So yeah, like seeing Inklings and Octolings coming together and things like that, it's really cool. I like Deep Cut, they're so cool. Shiver's probably my favorite, mostly because she looks like a Pokemon character. I love Shiver. I think Shiver might be my favorite. I think top 3 would probably be Marina, and then like Callie and Shiver would be like tied. The interesting thing about Shiver was that when Splatoon 3 was first coming out, there was a rumor, like a theory that was going around that Shiver might be non-binary, because whenever like whenever the game was like talking about all the characters and things like that, even in like the other languages, they always like seem to go out of their way to avoid saying Shiver's pronouns. Like they specified that Fry was a girl and Big Ben was like boy, but they like went out of their way to avoid saying Shiver's pronouns. Nintendo of America did eventually later confirm that Shiver is a girl, so that kind of debunks that theory. But at the same time, that was Nintendo of America, and they're kind of known for like kind of like changing some Splatoon story thingies. So we don't really know yet in the Japanese version if Shiver is any different in that version. But my current headcanon is that like Shiver could probably be like gender non-conforming at least. That might be because I'm also gender non-conforming, but so I might be a little biased with that mindset. But that's my personal theory on that. Alright, let's go over here. Get over you. Alright. Alright. Oh, dang it. That was quite unfortunate indeed. Alright, so we're gonna keep going. Despite the fact that we still haven't beaten this yet, we are still somewhat doing better than we did before. So I am confident that we will be able to do this if all the cards align properly and things like that. Cards. Table turf. Sorry, I just love table turf in Splatoon. Like, that's probably like the mode, aside from the story mode, that I spent the most time on right now. That and Summon Run. Summon Run is really cool in Splatoon 3. Because the only thing about Splatoon 2 was that it wasn't always open, but it is always open in Splatoon 3, which is a really great thing, because I love Summon Run. They've also done a couple like changes to it that just like make it so much better. Not only do they have like new boss summanoids, but they also have the ability to like throw your eggs around, because the point in Summon Run is that you gotta get the eggs in the basket to meet a quota while an army of summanoids are coming after you. It's a really, really fun mode. So they kind of like to take cues from Clam Blitz, because in Clam Blitz it's a similar concept where you gotta throw clams into a basket, but the difference there is that the clams, you gotta pick up enough off of the ground to form like a football thing, and then once you have the football, you can break the barrier of the other team and then start throwing clams in there. And in that mode, because it was so reliant on teamwork and things like that, you would be throwing clams to teammates and things like that. So expanding that into Summon Run is really cool. Clam Blitz is another one of those things where I'm starting to realize that not everybody likes it, because it's weird. I love Clam Blitz. It's like my second favorite of the ranked battle modes. Might be my number one favorite, but like, yeah, people were complaining that Clam Blitz was back when Splatoon 3 was coming out, and I was like, wait, people didn't like this mode? Why don't people like this mode? It's not that hard. And then I saw the tournament, and like, there was 4 minutes that went by and nobody got a point. And it's like, Clam Blitz has been out for years. How do people still not know how to play this? That being said, I haven't actually played Clam Blitz yet in this one. I haven't replayed any of the ranked battle modes yet. Because it's either Summon Run or Turf War or Tabletop or Table Turf whenever I'm playing the Splatoon 3 at the moment. Because I finished the story mode and I'm near 100% completion. I haven't done 100%, I haven't gotten the last couple things yet. But like after a bit, I'm going to go back through Splatoon 3 and get the last of the things I missed. Alright, you're gonna look around there. We got you. Ah, dang it. Alright, I don't know what I did wrong right there, but the trick for catching her off guard didn't work. Exactly, like no matter what, with Shiver, like Shiver's gonna be like one of my favorite characters in the game, because like Shiver's design is just so cool. So like, man, like I okay, I'm gonna come out and say it. Shiver is another Splatoon waifu. Shiver is the waifu of Splatoon 3. So yeah. That's fun. Hey, you are, that was pain. That was not very pleasant at all. Alright, let's head over here. Continue onwards, and hopefully we'll be able to do this at some point. Alright. Trying to read stream chat while doing a super boss. Probably not the best idea in the world. Oh, dang it. That's what I really don't like about the dodge rolls. She looks like Edelman from Pokemon. That's mostly why I like her. I don't know what Edelman looks like, but yeah, I could totally see Shiver looking like a Pokemon character. I was thinking something along the lines of like Phoebe from like Pokemon Emerald or something like that. Was that her name? The girl in the hula outfit or whatever. I don't know. But either way, Pokemon, like the really cool thing about those games Like, no matter what the quality of the game is, you can always count on Pokemon to have really fun character designs. Like, I'm not that big of a fan of Sword and Shield, but I thought Nessa was like one of the cooler looking new characters in a long time. It's kind of funny because, like, when I was looking at the games that came out this year and trying to think about what would be my game of the year, like, Pokemon Legends Arceus might have been the first Pokemon game to ever be game of the year for me. But then Xenoblade 3 and Splatoon 3 happened, like, within a couple months of each other. I was like, sorry, Pokemon. With that said, Legends Arceus is still a really, really fun game. I'd say that's probably... It's weird. I go back and forth all the time what my favorite Pokemon game is, because, like, after their Let's Play recently, like, Pokemon Snap was my favorite. I think Let's Go Eevee is still my favorite of the mainline games, but Legends Arceus is also really good too. So I'm going back and forth between Let's Go Eevee and Legends Arceus a lot. I do hope they do another game of that... Oh. I was about to say, I hope they do another game of that style, but that's literally what Scarlet and Violet is. Another game of the Let's Go Eevee style, that'd be pretty cool too. Because there was like a rumor that they were going to do Let's Go Johto, but I don't think they're going to go through with it. Because they were going to do it, they've probably done it by now. But they might wait a generation or two. Okay, here's my problem right now. I'm not really paying attention to the game that much. So when things like that happen, like when like my heart breaks like that, I'm not really focusing too much on trying to get back into the thing. But hopefully, with the powers of paying attention, we'll be able to actually do stuff. But here's the problem. I have trouble paying attention. Okay, that's a spot. Everything in Pokemon looks like it'd have a good texture that I kept hitting what it feel like. I want a Pokemon game that's like Luigi's Mansion, where you just go around and catching all the ghost-type Pokemon. That'd be really cool. Like a Pokemon Luigi's Mansion, that's a really cool idea. I'm just imagining like a Pokeball opening up and it's like sucking in the ghost-type Pokemon, like the Poltergeist. That'd be really fun. They probably could get away with like a Pokemon, like with like a lighthearted survival horror Pokemon game. Nothing to the degree of like Resident Evil or anything like that, but like a lighthearted game like Luigi's Mansion, they could probably get away with that. Because like, here's the thing with Pokemon. They could probably get away with anything at this point now because they had the Detective Pikachu movie where Ryan Reynolds voiced Pikachu and he actually like said the word hell at one point. So I think Pokemon can get away with just about anything at this point. Like Pokemon has like kind of like dabbled in like nearly every genre out there. Because like we've had Safari games with Pokemon Snap. We've also had like fighting games with Pokken and Pokemon Stadium and stuff. And Pokemon Puzzle League was like a fun little puzzle platform. Not platformer. It was like a fun little puzzle game. So that's pretty cool too. We haven't seen the fourth phase in a while. We might be getting progressively worse at this again. Alright, Super Concentration Mode activate. Super Concentration Mode activate. We can do this. Alright, that was good. If you can get Agent 3 into a position like that where when she tries to dodge roll out of the way, that's she's going to get stuck and things like that, I think that could be pretty good. Like that right there would have been good because she was stuck in the ink for a moment, but the splash shot still made us take too much damage. It's really annoying when things like that happen, when you're in a good strategy and like everything's lining up, but then just like one tiny little thing doesn't go perfect and then like the entire thing gets thrown off. It gets really annoying. I still have a problem with this boss fight in general. Like I mentioned before, that I'm not that fond of this fight because it's not that it's difficult. It's just that after a while, it just gets really annoying repeating the same exact thing over and over again because like the tiniest little mistake ruined everything. Alright, get away from me. There we go. Okay. Whew. Alright, now you're going over there. Stay mid-range. Stay mid-range, and we should be okay. Alright, there we go. Now just get away from the other Autobomb. There's another one that's following us. Okay, back out of the way. Back out of the way. And, okay, that's good. That is almost good. Okay. I was worried right there because I think it's following us for a moment. But we're good now. Okay, back away. And Autobomb! Every time! I hate those stupid things. Right, yeah, Ryan Reynolds is and everything. He's a really funny actor. I haven't seen the entirety of Pokemon Detective Pikachu, but like I really want to finish watching it because the clips I've seen of it are just so funny. Like the scene where he's interrogating the Mr. Mine. That one is just so good because he's like interpreting it wrong. I mean, he's like interpreting things wrong, and he's like, pussing, shoving. I promise I shove people away and then hate them for leaving. It's just so good. And like I also really love the art direction they went with for Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Because like the CGI for the Pokemon looks really incredible. Because you hear all the time nowadays people talking about bad CGI in movies because they're rushing the studios too much. That's kind of a problem Marvel's been facing a lot lately. But the CGI in Pokemon Detective Pikachu, it looks really good. It looks really, really good. They look exactly like I'd imagine like a real-life Pokemon would look like. Because Pikachu is fluffy, Jigglypuff is fluffy, and like Charizard is all scaly and stuff. It looks really awesome. I'm saying the word really too much, I apologize. That's my problem, I get redundant speech patterns. Oh, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Almost saw Endgame, but then we watched Detective Pikachu instead. It was great. Yeah, I wanted to watch it so bad. Endgame is pretty good too. Like, Avengers Endgame was a really good way to end off that story for Marvel. And it did definitely open the way for other things to continue the series after that. But if they were to have ended the Marvel movies at that point, I think that would have been like the perfect send-off. But of course, they're not going to end it off because it's like a bazillion-dollar franchise. So they're probably not going to end it anytime soon, which is perfectly fine. Marvel movies are pretty fun. They've had some pretty good post-Endgame movies as well. I really liked Black Widow and Shang-Chi. I think Shang-Chi might have been my favorite so far, alongside Spider-Man No Way Home, because I have a bit of fun story with Spider-Man No Way Home. So that one, that one was the movie that, like, we first started watching that one. That word's difficult. So I get to Galaxy's Edge and I start working here, and then like I'm still meeting everybody. I'm still pretty shy, not really talking to a whole lot of people. But then like all of a sudden they like invite me to go to like a big group watch thing to go watch Spider-Man No Way Home. So, I have a lot of fond memories of that one because that one felt like a really good bonding experience, and like where a lot of like my friends, like a lot of where my friendships at Galaxy's Edge really started and things like that. So that's like that's a movie that's gonna have like a lot of sentimental value on top of already being a pretty incredible movie. I think in grand scheme of things, Infinity War is still my favorite though, because Avengers Infinity War had like 10 years of build up to it, because they first hinted at Thanos at the end of the first Avengers, which came out in 2012, and they like slowly teasing him throughout the years. It did get to the point where it was annoying at times because he was barely in Guardians of the Galaxy. He only appeared in like one scene at the very end of Avengers Age of Ultron, where he didn't really do anything. But then he shows up in Infinity War, and you could see that he was like a really good big bad guy the entire time. And what I really like about the whole lore of the whole thing was that Thanos could have come for the Infinity Stones at any time. Like, he could have easily come to Earth and, like, take them all out and things like that, but he was also, like, a master strategic, so he knew when the perfect opportunity to come for the Infinity Stones was, because at that point, the Avengers had broken up, so they were all scattered and things like that, so they weren't as much of a threat to him anymore. But then, not only that, but he also didn't actually know where the Soul Stone was, and it wasn't until he found out where that was that he was able to, like, go for all of them at once. And I think he also learned his lesson not to go after them until he knew where all of them were, because in the first Avengers movie, he had access to 2 of them at that point. He had the Mind Stone and the Space Stone. We don't know where he got those originally, but we do know that he had those at that point. He trusted... actually, no, he didn't have the Space Stone yet. He had the Mind Stone already at that point, which he trusted to Loki when he sent them... when he sent Loki over to Earth to get the Tesseract from S.H.I.E.L.D. And then... like... because of all that, Thanos, like, ended up losing access to both of those stones, so he was like, okay, I'm gonna wait until I know where all of them are, and then I'll go after them myself, and that'll be epic. That was my professional interpretation of Thanos. You are hurting my feelings. There we go. Oh, no! Ah, well, we're still alive. Was that the bubble blowing phase or the other? That was the bubble blowing phase. The worst is still here. The worst hasn't finished up yet. We probably could have taken that time to cover the area in our ink, and now we're gonna pay for our insolence. Alright, we're gonna give this a couple more times, and then I'm gonna have to go, because I gotta work today. It'd be nice to finish this soon. It would be nice to do this soon, because I kind of don't want to have to do this I don't want to have to do a 4th stream, but we might have to. I don't know when it will be, though. We'll just say all those are practice streams. These were all practice, and whichever one we actually do it on, that's going to be the real stream. Everything else was just a practice test thingy. Okay, you were surrounded by bubbles. So that was a very poor time to try and go after you at that point. But we'll continue onwards. We'll continue with no rap music or flash dancing. Alright, we got you. Get away from me. Autobomb. I hate those autobombs. They follow you forever. I looked it up. They do follow you longer here than they do normally, which is really, really dumb. But eventually we'll hopefully be able to conquer this area. This is the last thing in the game that I haven't finished, and it's going to be awesome. Probably, hopefully, maybe, sort of, kinda. Alright. 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 Okay, you're going over there now. And you dodge roll out of the spot bomb, so that wasn't very pleasant. Okay, retreat, 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 retreating. Okay. And stupid auto bombs again. Super concentration mode activate. Okay. That was good. That was a good round. That was good. Oh, this is not a good sign. Nope. Okay, we are dead. Oh my goodness. We were starting off so well at the beginning of the stream. We're starting off so well, and now we can't get back to the 4th phase again. This thing is so annoying. Someday we'll finish this stupid thing. Someday. Somewhere over the rainbow. You go away. There we go. We splattered your face, and now we're going to continue onwards. Hey, you are starting over there. I thought you were going to start somewhere else. So one thing I gotta ask, how come we don't get special weapons during this? I get that's the point, but still, that's kinda not nice. Oh, come on! There was nothing we could have done there. That was cheap. Alright. Let's continue. We're gonna do this. Maybe. Actually, you know what? That might be the curse we're dealing with. I've been saying for all these streams that we can do it. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe I gotta be disencouraged. We cannot do this ever. We will never be able to do this. It's gonna take 500 streams to finish this. Legends say that in 1,000 years from now, we'll still be streaming this. That's how you do that, right? I'm surprised that actually worked. The discouraging talk made that round go smoother. I probably didn't do that too much. Hey, you are over here now. And now I'm going to be dead. Reverse psychology on Splatoon. Let's try that again. Okay. Splatoon. We're gonna be stuck here forever and ever and evers. We will not beat this today, or tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day. But why did it work? That's what I want to know. Why did that work? Okay. Next phase is starting. We're not going to be able to do this. We will not be able to get around this and get around that and conquer our destiny. We will not be able to defeat Agent 3 flawlessly. Okay. Alright. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. We are not going to be able to finish this phase off either. Or trap you in the ink. Oh, dang it. Reverse psychology wasn't strong enough for the 3rd round. Owie. That was more than 6 shots. Probably, I miscounted. Owie. Off topic, why don't we have a Barbie as Dracula movie? We have like everything else. That's a good question. Has Barbie ever been like a monster or anything? I don't know. I don't really follow Barbie movies or anything like that, but I'm genuinely curious because it seems like Barbie has done everything else. It's funny because Disney had a Barbie festival like in the 80s or 90s or whatever, like celebrating the anniversary of Barbie. They were like doing like a sponsored like party thingy, and their justification for going with Barbie was that because she's known for like exploring the world and all that fun stuff, she like would fit in with Epcot pretty well or something like that. It's kind of weird. It's like the justification for why Pandora, the World of Avatar, is an animal kingdom, because it's about nature conservation or something. But the problem with that is that, yeah, Pandora is pretty cool and all, but at the same time, like, when I go to Animal Kingdom, I want to learn about real animals. I don't want to learn about fake ones. Except for the Yeti. The Yeti is awesome. Expedition Everest is one of the coolest rides ever. She wasn't, or her sister was a horse once. Barbie has a sister? When did that happen? Barbie was a swan. Alright. I'm not too caught up on the Barbie lore, I apologize. My sisters and I would play, like when we were like super little kids, we would play Barbies and things like that. I remember she had one that had like limbs that could move and things like that. That's usually the one that I would play with. So that's pretty cool. Alright, get on you. Alright, get away from the Autobomb. There was no Autobomb, alright. Alright, so now let's see if reverse psychology can work here again. This is not going to be the attempt we will beat this on. This will not work at all in our favor, and we are going to most certainly get splatted once again. When we get back over here, we are most certainly going to face certain distraction. We will not be able to aim properly, especially if you keep moving around like that. We are going to be stuck in this boss for all of the time, for every second of every day. It worked! It worked! It worked! Okay, we might have something here. We might have something here. Oh, crap, we ran out of ink. Whew, okay. Reverse psychology time. We can't do this. We can't do this. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. I mean, that is going to work. That's how you do reverse psychology, right? Whew. Okay, if I go quiet again, I apologize. I'm like super concentrating right now. Okay, that's an Autobomb. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, let's wait around for a little bit, get our ink back up, and then wait for the 10 missiles to go by. Whew! Autobomb! Okay. Okay. Now you're going over here. That was not thrown properly at all. Yeah, you can usually tell when Agent 3 is going to stop throwing those, because, like, the Autobomb. How? What? How did that not hit us? I want to see a video of that. How did that not hit us? I really want to know. We were right in the middle of the Autobomb and it didn't go off. Or it did go off, but it didn't hit us. I don't know what happened there. I do know what happened there is that we didn't aim properly. Whew. Okay. Okay, the big thing I want to focus on is getting this area covered in ink so we have an escape getaway for the next area. Okay. Now the bomb's gonna be there. Ah, dang it. Okay. This is the nice thing about this phase is that because you know where, because you know to avoid the side. If you get hit by an Autobomb, you can at least dodge off to the area, and you'd still be okay for a little bit, so you at least have a little bit more breathing room. Okay, okay. Can you do this without the splat bomb? That's what I'm currently wondering at the moment. Because the problem is that she's going to throw the Autobomb right after the 10 missile, so it's going to be really tricky to dodge that. Okay, we're out of ink, and now we're damaged. And if you're up against the wall right here, you should be okay. Unless, of course, there's a second Autobomb, which can happen on occasions. A second Autobomb can be thrown, and that could be really annoying. Okay. Up against the wall. Up against the wall. Up against the wall. Okay. Now we're gonna go over here. Avoid the tender missile. Okay. Alright. Ah, who's texting me? Go away. Okay, that was 3 shots right there. Avoid that. Okay, none of those hit. There's not a bomb following us now. Okay. What I'm thinking I'm gonna do instead is after those go off in the autobomb. Was there an autobomb? There was no autobomb that time. I don't know why that wasn't the case. We're going like that, and then go like that. Come on. Ah, dang it. That's the problem, is that the autobomb, the spot bomb, consumes like a lot. What? Okay. Mid-range, 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 mid-range. Mid-range. Yes! 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 We did it! Oh my god! Yes! Yes! Yes, we finally got it! Golden toothpick, baby! Oh, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my! Oh my god! We finally did it! That's the last of the footage I needed for the Let's Play! We can end it now! Oh my god. My heart is racing. Oh man. Oh man. Okay. We're ending this stream off by activating the golden toothpick. Multiplayer maps have been updated. Yay. Chelsea, the grumpy one, and the sporty one. The magic is real! Woo, you did it! That was amazing. Oh man. I'm so happy right now. We did it. Golden toothpick. Oh man. We did it. Hi James. We finished it. We finished the thing. We finally beat Inner Agent 3 and got this damn golden toothpick. I'm sorry for cursing, but it just had to be said. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Alright, so... yeah, I have to get ready for work now. Thank y'all so much for watching tonight's Gator stream. We're just gonna let that soak in. We're gonna turn off the motion controls real quick so we can like be on the plaza without activating motion controls or anything like that. So let's just soak it all in, witness its awesomeness. There we go. That's a good shot. All right. Aw, thank you. It's fun watching. Have a nice day. You have a nice day too. Thank you all for the moral support. Thank you all so much for watching today's Gator stream. I don't know when the next one's going to be. We might do a Korok stream soon. I would like to get back into that pretty soon. I would like to also like get back into streaming more regularly because we were pretty consistent with this. We definitely will be streaming the Splatfest that was announced today. Gear versus Grub versus Food, or Gear versus Grub versus Play, or whatever it was called. We are going to stream that next week, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Look forward to the Splatoon 2 grand finale because it can finally happen soon. Man, I'm so happy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, Gator to you.